With everything starting to slowly open back up, for some people too fast, some people too slow. For me, it's a little bit too fast, but whatever. I thought for a while now, I kind of wanted to do this video for a bit and kind of give my thoughts about movie theaters in general, how I feel like they can reopen during this whole thing. Because recently, a lot of companies are saying, hey, here's how we're planning on coming back after, well, not really after, but during this whole thing. Like Cinemark has announced their plans. They're planning on opening very soon, in a couple weeks. Regal is planning on reopening soon. AMC is in a lot of trouble. They are saying that even when they do reopen, they are planning on reopening still. But it would be hard for them to basically stay open during the pandemic, even when they are open. But overall, this is my list of things I think movie theaters should do in order to kind of survive this pandemic. And there's going to be sacrifices. And I think this whole thing should basically, if I could sum up this whole video right now, I would say for movie theaters, adapt or die. Like, I think that's really the only way that you can survive this whole thing. So I do have some ideas that they can do to kind of like make it seem like it's safer to go to the movies now, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm gonna list them off and kind of like why I said this. So first off, temperature checks. Not just the staff, but also customers who walk into the theater. I've been seeing temperature checks not really everywhere, but to the point where it's like, we're going to scan people to see if they are, healthy enough, make sure they're not over 100 degrees or something. And even though I know the virus spreads asymptomatically, it doesn't seem as, I don't know, I don't want to say anything, but it just seems like even though the virus does spread asymptomatically, you don't show any symptoms, obviously. So I think that's just a bigger issue, that there's still not enough testing going around, unfortunately. Everyone needs to wear a mask. Now, I live in New York State. I'm required to wear a mask no matter where I go, which kind of been doing that like right before that was signed into law. But customers should wear a mask. Employees need to wear a mask. And I know it's going to be hard for like snacks and such, but I'll get to that in a bit. Plexiglass. If you've been in a grocery store these past 3 months, which based on the fact that every time I go to a grocery store, it just seems really busy. Plexiglass would be slightly better. I feel like that should just kind of be the norm at this point. As far as capacity goes, a lot of businesses are saying only operate at 25% capacity. And I don't know if movie theaters can really do that. I would say at most 50% capacity. But kind of like what AMC and Regal were doing like days before they announced they were closing due to the pandemic. They were saying, hey, we're still opening. We're just going to operate at 50% capacity. So once, we got that last ticket that at 50%, we're going to say, we're sold out. Doesn't matter. You won't get into that showtime. Sorry, wait for the next one. And it kind of got me thinking, it's like, well, they can't really do well if only 50% of the theater's filled. Well, how do you explain weekdays then? Like weekday shows. Like I've gone to a few weekday shows and they're not even close to 50%. No, they're not even close to 25% in some of those showings. So if they can survive on 25% showings, well, they really can't. But if they can do that, then that shouldn't really be too much of a problem. But then again, with what's coming out this summer, it's still on the schedule for right now, like Tenet, Wonder Woman, Mulan, SpongeBob. If they're still being scheduled to come out, then they really shouldn't have too much of a problem then with movies. Like when Tenet opens up, it will probably be the only movie playing in every theater. So, which kind of gives me an idea where it's like, if it plays in every theater, then it won't have a problem of selling out tickets or like the 50% capacity rule. Because I don't know, like really, I just think that would work best for Tenet's case, because it's like, we need 90% of the theaters open to have this movie, or at least 80% open, and they're saying, well, 90% will be open by July. So, I don't know, that's just kind of one of the things I was thinking about. Obviously, cleanliness. Movie theaters are filthy. They are disgusting. I'm sorry. Even though I go to the movie theater, I always try to clean up after myself, and that was way before all this went down. But I think movie theater employees need to do some more extensive cleaning. So, from what I've noticed over my time of going to the movies, they only have a half hour between the end of the movie and before the trailer starts for the next screening. And that is not long enough right now. All they really do is they just sweep. And that's it. So, what I'm thinking is they should sweep, they should vacuum, they need to wipe down all the seats, wipe down the handles, anything really. Kind of an interesting thought I had, where it's like you had people opening the doors to the theater no matter what, so that way only one person is touching that. Which I don't know, that might be a step too far, but I don't know. I was a germaphobe before all this, so why not? Like wipe down all seats, under the seats, sweep and vacuum, and basically, as I mentioned, it takes them about half hour to do just the regular work, double it to an hour, have more than 2 people cleaning, because that's normally what I see in theaters. And kind of add to that, less show times as well. Now that might hurt movies, especially some of the bigger ones like Tenet, but if you have like only a half hour in between your showtime to just clean, that's not really enough. Have that hour in between just to clean and then start the next preview, and then have the movie play, then clean for the next hour, movie, and then however long it goes until it gets late. What else? Also, next up is the whole concessions argument. Movie theaters make most of their money on concessions. And, I only get concessions about, half the time, third of the time. But that's just me, though. I feel like for drinks, I think you're kind of safe for the most part, but I think everything should kind of be, bottled for a while, because like those soda machines are not really that great. They're not really that clean. So if they can kind of like switch over to like bottles for a while, it would be bad for the environment, but at least don't get coronavirus. As far as for like concessions go, maybe they could do like contactless delivery in some way, where it's like, okay, you order popcorn. Okay, great. So we'll have someone bring that over to you. Just stand in this area and we'll bring it to you. We'll just set it down here and we'll make sure you get your popcorn or whatever, your pretzels or whatever. It's kind of just do that. And it's kind of hard to do that now. Like I hear like movie theaters that are reopening in other countries, they're not going to do concessions, which makes sense. But again, that's how movie theaters make most of their money. It's like, well, what about ticket sales? Well, sadly, movie theaters only get about 40% of the ticket. So let's say you paid $10 to see such and such a movie. The movie theater will only get $4, while the studio that made the movie would get the other $6. So that's not really that great, unfortunately. So they kind of need that concession money, unfortunately. So those were just some of the ideas about how I think movie theaters can survive the pandemic. But I don't know. Here's the weird thing about movie theaters right now for me. I am aware that with, the rise of streaming, movie theaters are just gonna die. Movie theaters are just gonna be gone. They will go the way of Blockbuster and just be either non-existent or in just certain areas. And that hurts. That really does suck. And I kind of expected it to happen in several years. I just never really expected it to happen so fast. Like, movie theaters are like my church, essentially. I went 2 or 3 times a week. I went earlier this year with crutches just to see, admittedly, not some good movies. And even though, like, when I go to the movies, even if I'm about to see a movie that I think is going to be bad, I was like, at least I'm going to the movies. Like, even when I see a really bad movie, like a Boss, for instance, I'm like, this movie's going to be bad, but you know what? I'm going to be in a movie theater. I feel happy. And, like, even when I was in crutches, like, I would still do double features. That's how much I care. And, I get now that there are a ton of movies out there that are going straight to VOD, mostly due to the whole shutdown. But that doesn't mean, like, I know a lot of filmmakers now are kind of like trying to make it seem like their movies are an event that you need to see on the big screen. Like, any movie by Christopher Nolan is going to be an event no matter what. Any movie by Quentin Tarantino is going to be on the big screen no matter what. Quiet Place 2, MCU, DCEU, all those movies are going to go on the big screen for the most part. Any movie by some auteur filmmaker will go there, like Wes Anderson or Edgar Wright. They're gonna go to the big screen, no matter what. And I'm aware that some movies, yeah, they can go straight to VOD, and I would be fine with that. Like, I was fine with Scoob going to VOD. I was fine with Trolls going to VOD. And even like some smaller movies that were delayed, I'm like, yeah, push them to VOD. I don't care. For someone like me to say I don't need to see that on the big screen, that's kind of a big thing for me. Because I'll sit through anything. You've seen my channel. You've seen the movies I've reviewed so far. I'll sit through anything. I sat through Cats, for crying out loud. So, I know they're going away eventually. But I just kind of want to hold on to that more. I just kind of want to hold on to that again. I just want to go into a theater. I'll wear a mask. But I know the day will come when movie theaters don't exist, but I never thought it'd be this soon. So, I don't know, those are some of my thoughts I've been having about movie theaters recently and how I think they can survive during the crisis. What do you guys think? Comment down below. And I know this is ending in a sad note, but it's kind of how I see it right now. So comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat, and stay safe.